and welcome to my channel, Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire on the west coast of Scotland. Today is Thursday the 11th of January and this is episode number 36. Links to all the other places that you can find me online will be in the description box below if that's something that you're interested in. And anything that I talk about today, I will also leave links in the description box below too. Now, the last time I recorded an episode was back in December. It was actually about a month ago. I think it was the 12th of December. And I haven't made much progress on any of my projects since then. I was recovering from a virus the last time I made a video. And unfortunately, a few days after making my video, I got a second round of the same virus. So I've not been very well for most of the holiday season. I've got a wee bit I can show you today. I've got a wee bit of progress in some things. I woke up this morning and I knew I was going to do this video today, and I was frantically trying to finish off a few things from November just so I could show you. So I've got 2 finished objects to show you, and I think I've got 3 whips. The last video that I made back in December, I was working on Advent projects, and I haven't finished any of my Advent projects. 2 of them I've made a bit of progress on. The quilts I didn't even get started. And the crochet I stopped around about the middle of December. So I'm not going to show you the crochet again just now because it's not really changed since my last video. It's all knitting projects today. So I'll show you the finished objects first. And the first thing I've got to show you is the socks by Amo Yarns. This is the Scottish Yarn Festival colourway. I started these in the middle of October and I finished them on the 23rd of November. And they were sitting for about a week or 2 and then I blocked them. And they had been sitting on these sock blockers since maybe the middle of December. No, probably before that. Around about the middle of December anyway, definitely. And all I had to do was sew in 4 ends. Now, these are for my husband and he has been asking on numerous occasions, where are my socks? Are my socks finished yet? And I kept saying, oh, I'm getting there, I've just to sew the ends in. So they're finally done now. I stitched the ends, I just wove in the 4 ends, the 2 starting ends and the 2 finishing ends. I wove them in this morning so we can get these today. I'm terrible, aren't I? I'm great at starting things and getting all excited about projects, but finishing is not really my forte, is it? I need to work on that this year. Details about the socks. This is my scoosh toe up pattern. I've knitted it in the large size, but I've changed to a medium leg, just to make the leg a wee bit thinner. It's not just a vanilla sock pattern. I have added a knit 6 purl 2 into the body of the sock, into the instep of the sock and round of the leg. I had to change to knit 5 purl 2 because I decreased the stitches on the leg. And I used 2.25mm needles. And I said before, this is by Amo Yarns, this colourway. I don't think they're dyeing anymore. I think they've got a sale on in most of their colourways. And I think that's really all I need to tell you. You've seen these a few times before, and this is the last time you'll see them. Because they're finally done, and I've woven in the ends. And the other finished item I have to show you is the cowl by Beehive Yarns. I should say the yarn is by Beehive Yarns. The cowl pattern isn't by Beehive Yarns. But that's it there. And this was leftovers from my Leith cardigan. And it's actually about 216 grams. I just weighed it before I started here today. And it's 216 grams, so it's a good amount of leftovers that I had from that advent calendar. Considering it was a 480 grams, it was a 20 gram advent calendar. It's all DK weight. And that's what I had left over. I cast on 96 stitches onto a 4mm circular. And I just kept knitting in the round until I ran out each colour. And then changed to the next colour and worked my way all through the spring colours, all through the summer, the autumn and the winter. I think that is actually, that's the beginning of that's spring. these are roughly the summer, that's roughly the autumn ones, and then these darker ones at the end, that's the winter. This is another thing that I just finished this morning. I started this on the 27th of October. I checked back in the photographs on my phone, and I started it on the 27th of October and I finished it on the 3rd of December. And it was today before I finally looked it out. In my defence, I did want to speak to my daughter and ask if she wanted the wee Mobius twist in it, or whether she just wanted me to join it in the round and it was just a tube. So I finally saw her yesterday. I was on my way home from yesterday. No, that's not true. I didn't finally see her. I've seen her a couple of times and forgotten all about it. But because it's been sat in my room and I just forgot all about it over the festive season. So when I saw her yesterday, I took this cowl with me, put it in the boot of the car, and I took it with me. And I says to her, do you want a little twist in it before I sew it together, before I graft it? And she said, yeah, put the twist in. So it's never ever going to lie flat. There's always that, just when I joined it, I deliberately put the wee twist in. So she can actually adjust it and she can have the twist wherever she likes. She could have the twist at the back, or she could have it at the front of her neck. So it's up to her where the twist sits. I'm actually really pleased with this. See now that it's done, and I can't believe that it lay there for, golly, that must have been about 5-6 weeks waiting to be finished. And look at it now. So she'll be able to wear that back and forward to work. Love all those colours. I just love the way they all blend into one another. So that is 2 finished projects. I think they were on my November WIP list. And it's good to have something finished. Although maybe I should have tried finishing them a month ago rather than them sitting on my table in here in my room all over the festive season. So what else have I been working on? That's my 2 finished projects. So I'm going to move on and show you some WIPs now, okay? And in my December video, when I was trying to show you some of my Advent projects, I did show you my socks. I'm going to get into such a fangle here. There's yarn going everywhere. Now this was the Yarn Badger 24 stripe skein by the Yarn Badger for Advent season, and this was the heel and the toe was the wee contrasting colourway that came with the main skein. I bought 2 of the wee contrasting skein so that I could knit 2 pairs of socks, but I wasn't sure if I liked the colours on these socks. There's not anything wrong with it, it's just maybe not my colours. So there's a second one there. You can see all those strands of yarn, what a mess. And I think that's where I was when I last videoed. I was at this exact spot and I was going to cast on the second pair and start from the other end of the ball and see how far I could get. Well, I decided after doing that video that I was going to try and tone these colours down a wee bit. So what I did, I cast on my second sock with my other little mini skein, but I added in some mohair, and I'm knitting it as a double knitting weight sock. So this one, golly, what a difference that makes when you see them like that. And wow. So this one is knitted, they're both knitted on Licca needles. This one is 2.25mm and this one is the 3.25mm. This one is a just regular sock weight, and this one I'm knitting to a DK weight tension. But what a difference it makes, and all I'm doing is adding in that a little bit. I'm holding that double knitting one double. I'm just holding one strand of the yarn with the mohair, and what a difference it makes. It really does tone it down, doesn't it? And that's as far as I got. After doing my last video, I started working on this sock and I got just up by the heel. And then I thought, I've got quite a bit of yarn left over. That's my first cake there that I've got those 2 socks out of. And I actually wound off a little bit before I started this sock because I wanted to get to the colours that I really, really liked. So I've got this as well. Now altogether I've got 16 grams of yarn, and I've already knitted 2 socks from that 50. And I'm not sure whether I'll get maybe a wee pair of mittens out of that. And I think that's where I stalled, because I've got my I've got my ball of yarn, my cake of yarn that's a bit untidy now because there's a lot out of it. And I've got this sock attached to one end with mohair. I've got this sock attached to the other end. I'm wondering whether with this and with that wee bit of leftover, if I could do a double knit and weight mitten and add a wee bit of mohair in so my mitten is the same as this. And that's where I just stopped. Too much thinking, so I stopped doing it. And I wasn't very well for a second time. The second time, in all honesty, wasn't that bad. I think it was because I just hadn't fully recovered for the first time I had the virus, that I was already run down and feeling a bit weak, and then when it hit me a second time, it just knocked me for six. So I don't know what to do with that. The only thing is, I think I'm about ready to start. This one's just going to be a shorty sock. It's not going to have much length in the leg. I'm ready to start the cuff. I'm actually on green just now. And I think I've got red and then yellow coming up next. I don't want to finish on that green because it'll blend too much into the wee contrast colour. So maybe I should do another couple of colours. That'll get me away from that green because I've got green, brown, green here. And then I could get this one finished. That's maybe a good idea. And then I could do my second sock, couldn't I? Get exactly the same. And then at least I'd have one pair cast off. And I can decide if I want to add a wee bit more length to that later. Because I could do the mitten first. And then go back to that. This is sounding really, really complicated, isn't it? I'm trying not to cut the yarn. I'm trying not to snip the yarn on this one. And then rejoin it. But I'm making it awfully complicated. I can't even say that. I'm making it awfully complicated, aren't I? That one's probably the easiest one to finish. If I've got my yarn cake attached to both of these, I'll finish that one first because that one's definitely a shorty. But I may be able to add a wee bit more length onto that, so I think I've decided what I'm doing. So that's my progress with the Yarn Badger Advent yarn. And it is a bit of a fanco and a bit of a mess here. I've got my two socks here. I've got one wee bowl that's got all the yarn in. And then I've got another wee bowl going that's got my contrast skein and my mohair in it. And oh, so dipping out. So I feel like I've got a lot going on here and it's a bit of a mess, and I just put it away. It was too much to think of. The other thing that came with that skein of yarn from the Yarn Badger was this. There was a wee surprise for Christmas Day, and I don't think I showed you it wrapped up in the packaging last time. I forgot all about it. But that was it's 250-gram skeins and it's called Merry Christmas. And it's the sparkle. So something that I can cast on in the future and then probably never finish it. I need to sort that this year. I really do. The other thing that I have been working on and off, is my Daft Days cardigan by the Crea Bear. Oh, sorry, I probably should mention the pattern on these socks, the little wave pattern on these socks, is just something that I made up myself. If I make up a project page on Ravelry, I'll add the details to it because there's both the double knitting version and there's a 4-ply version, okay? And I'll add details to a project page so you know how I did that. I would like to release it as a pattern eventually, but the speed that I work these days, it could be the end of the year. We'll move back onto that cardigan. The Daft Days cardigan. Now, I have been working on that. I have my body finished. The front is, I can't open it up properly because I kept it on the needles while I was working back and forward. So the two fronts are on one side of the needle and I've got the back on the other side. Oh, that looks lovely when you see it on the screen. And it is a round neck cardigan. So the two fronts will be round. And then this just goes straight down here. Rather than being a V-neck like the Leith cardigan, this one is a round neck. Now I need to block this. I need to get it blocked because it looks quite short. If I stand up, yeah, it's quite short on me, but it will block out. I'm going to hold this tight while it'll it'll gain quite a bit, because when I blocked my swatch, it did stretch out quite a bit, so I'll get more length out of it when I block it. But I don't want to add the button bands and the collar until it's blocked. I want to do that first. And I have also knitted my sleeves. Both sleeves. Cake. I knitted them both at the same time to make sure I had enough yarn of each colourway, and I have managed to get 4 rows in each colour. I did go back and I started at 4 rows before the beginning. I used the last 4 colours first, and then I started from the blue because I knew that was the only way I would be able to do it. And I've got my sleeves both done. Knitted them both at the same time. Now again, these look really, really short, because if I hold that on my arm, it's not very far up my arm. But going by the tension on my swatch, what I got from my gauge swatch, that was how long I had to make them. It's quite a drop shoulder on it. It comes down to maybe about here. And I think I will get that, again, the extra bit of length once I block it. But I need to get it blocked first before I do anything else. I do have a wee bit of yarn left over that I can make the sleeves longer if I need to. But I think once it's blocked it might be okay. So I need to get those backs. I need to get that one piece, the back and the front, sewed together. And I need to get these sleeves blocked as well before I can move on with that. And apart from working on those, the Advent socks I actually worked on, I would say, just after I did my last video. And I worked on them for about a day or two, and I got to that point and put it away. Then I went back to my Crea Bears design, the Daft Days cardigan. And apart from that, the only other thing I've worked on this year, started this year, is a pair of socks. And this is the socks here. Now this is a West Yorkshire Spinners colourway, and it's one of their Christmas colourways. It's the very, very first one that they released. This one's called Hollyberry. So the main colour in the sock is a hollyberry, and the contrast is cherry drop. Cherry drop. And it's number 529. The cherry drop is 529. And I don't actually have much left of the main colour. There's a wee bit of a background story to go with this sock. West Yorkshire Spinners have released a Christmas colourway every year for the past 8 years. 2023 they released the Nutcracker colourway, but they've got another 7 colours that come before that. And every year I've been buying their Christmas colourways and knitting either a pair of socks or 2 out of it. But I seem to have acquired a bit of a stash of their yarns. So what I was thinking, this is the Hollyberry one here, and I'll take that wee bit of extra red out. That's the Hollyberry colourway there. It's number 886. Now I had 2 balls of this yarn, and I bought that back in 2019, and I knitted 1 pair of socks, very similar to these. Oops, I'm caught on something. Now I knitted this pair back in 2019 after buying the Hollyberry colourway, and I've never worn them. And I think it's because they're just too long for me and they're a wee bit tight around my leg. I just think over time, getting older, putting on a bit of weight, the lower part of my leg seems to have swollen a wee bit. I get puffy ankles now and again, and I just don't wear them. So they're sitting in my sock drawer, unworn. And I thought, well, I could knit myself a shorty pair, because I'm more likely to wear those than I am the longer ones. So I've got that one started, and the plan is to try and use up the Hollyberry colourway, because that was the first one that they released, and use up that stash that I've got in January, and then each month move on to the next colourway. So I've got this one done. I wanted to knit a sock the first week in January, and I did get this one done. And this is the second one. I've got by the heel. I'm on the leg, and it doesn't have a very long leg, so that's my second sock. So hopefully by the middle of January I can get that one finished as well, and then cast on another pair, because I just want, there's no point in this lying about in stash. I'd be as well knitting it up. And even if I've got, I think most of the colourways, I've got a ball and a half. I had 44 grams of this one, and I've got a pair of socks out of it. I've actually used, it was 16, on the first sock I used 16 grams of the main colourway and 9 on the toe. So it's only 25 grams of yarn the sock is taking. So 50 grams of yarn, and I've got a pair of shorties for me. So this is a full ball. I'll get a pair for my husband out of that. And there's going to be a wee bit left over. It can maybe go into a blanket or something, but I do want this box to be empty by the end of summer actually. So this is what's still in it. So what have we got here? That one's the Holly Berry. I've just pulled that out. This one is Fairy Lights. That one is the Robin colourway. This is the Gingerbread. That was not last year's, the year before. There's the Vintage Tinsel. I've got Silent Night up here. And as I say, every year I buy 2 balls, and I usually also buy a contrasting skein so I can do contrasting heel, toes and cuffs. Don't drop this. So I've got all this contrasting colourways to use up as well. I tend to keep all my yarn and fabric in these plastic boxes with the wee clip lids. Not so easy for opening and closing because it's quite noisy when you're doing a video, but it keeps the moths out, doesn't it? So I've got a ball, just under a ball and a half, I think, each colourway. The only one that I don't have a lot of is this one. Let me put that back down. That is all I've got. So I've just got a wee leftover of this one, and that's the Candy Cane colourway. I've actually knitted socks in this colourway for myself, my husband, my daughter, my son, his partner, and their 2 boys. So there's not even enough there to get a pair of socks for the granddaughter because it's just not enough. But I kept it in case I needed it for something. But I think that's all I've got of that one. Oh, there's another, no there's not, there's another tiny, tiny wee bit in there. But I would like this box to be empty by the end of the year, so that is my plan. Every month try and use up a different colourway. And if all I can do is get a gents pair and a ladies pair, and then maybe think of something to use the leftovers for, those boxes will be empty, and I'll have a nice big pile of socks at Christmas that I can give to all the family. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? And that is the only other thing that I've been working on. I have, oh, I did bring that one over to show you. That was the Gingerbread colourway. And again, I've never worn them. And I think it's because just the leg, the length of the leg. I think if I knit my socks with a medium-sized foot and a large leg, they fit better, they're more comfortable to wear. When they're too tight, and it's not even the cast off, it's not the rib, it is just the sock itself, it's quite tight around the lower part of my leg and my ankle. So again, these ones haven't been worn, so they're going into the box for gifting at the end of the year. And I think I've also got the Robin colourway, and I've got the Vintage Tinsel that I knitted for myself as well. So I think I've got 4 or 5 pairs that I've knitted for myself but never worn. So they're going into the gift box. And I'll knit shorty ones for myself, I think, because they'll suit me better. Oh, I've got the Nutcracker one in here. Sorry, it's in this wee bag here. You'll probably have seen this because a lot of people have been knitting with this recently, especially over Vlogmas. But that's the Nutcracker colourway in here. And I've got the contrasting colours for heel, toes and cuffs as well. But I need to get those ones finished too. This was actually a toiletry bag that I found in Primark, and it's got little pictures of the Grinch printed all over it. I love a see-through vinyl bag, and when I saw this one in Primark, I thought that would be good for Christmas socks, wouldn't it? And unfortunately that's what I do. I tend to buy a pretty bag, put my project in it, and that's where it lives forevermore. The only other thing that I've got to share with you today is a couple of acquisitions. So I'll go get those. Back in October of last year, was that about 3 months ago, I went to the Glasgow School of Yarn, which is organised and run by the Yarn Cake in Glasgow. And I bought this colourway here, which is Iron Brew. No, sorry, it's just called Brew. And I showed you where that colour influence came from. That's back, it'll be the end of October, beginning of November. My episode round about then. And at the same time, I'd ordered the Tunnocks colourway, but it's by For the Love of Yarn. She's based in Glasgow. She has a studio in Glasgow. She didn't have the Tunnocks one in stock, but she sent it out to me before Christmas. Now, I'd ordered it back in October, and I realised about a week or two before Christmas that it hadn't arrived yet, so I messaged her and she sent out a replacement. Now, unfortunately, she sent out another one of these, so I've ended up with two of these. She very quickly sent me out the Tunnocks one, but she said I could keep this one. I've already got one skeiny, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up for a wee giveaway. Now, part of the reason that I haven't got a lot of crafting done over the holidays is because my husband bought me Disney Dreamlight Valley just before Christmas. I think it was the 22nd of December. And I have spent a lot of time playing that over the holidays. So see, while I was really ill and I was recovering and I was feeling really sorry for myself, okay? And I kept playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. Absolutely loved it. I'm hooked on it. And I've clocked up quite a few hours on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to guess how many hours I've played that. I've got a wee screenshot on my phone today, so I know how many hours I've played as of today, right this second. And I want you to guess how many hours. And the person that gets the closest can win this skein of yarn. And it's open anywhere in the world, so wherever you live, it doesn't matter. Whether you're the other side of the world from me, I'll post it to you. So whoever's guess is the closest to the actual number of hours that I've played. Okay? So on you go, have a wee guess. I just seem to have gone into hibernation mode over the holidays and not done much. Apart from those few bits that I've showed you in projects, I've spent more hours playing this game and it was great. See, trying to get back into a routine. My husband went back to work on the 8th of January, which was just Monday. This is Thursday, it was just Monday he went back. He had a long, long holiday. And because the two of us haven't been very well, we've both had this virus twice. He's also had a cold on top of that at the end. It wasn't the full-blown virus, just a cold. He's put his back out, had to go and see an osteopath. I had a blocked ear, which was really, really sore. I've never had a sore ear like that. And thankfully that disappeared just round about New Year. So we've just spent a lot of time at home, just hibernating, not really seeing anybody. And having to get back into your routine again, it's a bit of a shock to the system, to be honest. But yesterday, I had to go out. I'm going to show you where it was. I had to go to Edinburgh. I had tickets booked to go to the theatre. And I went to see Wicked. It's the first time I've ever seen it. Oh, it was wonderful. I loved it. I think every time I see it's going to be shown, they're going to be performing this in Scotland, I think I'm just going to book tickets. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's one of those things that I thought I would love it and I really wanted to see it, and then you finally see it and you're like, oh, I knew I'd love that. But it was really good. This is just the programme that came along for the Edinburgh showing. So it's all the performers from the Edinburgh performance. Nice big glossy pictures of them all. Like that one. Have you already seen it? I've been wanting to see it for years. I'm so glad I finally got to see it. I've actually ordered the soundtrack. I ordered the CD online today, so I'll play that when I'm getting back and forward to the gym. It'll make me excited to go and exercise, won't it? That was another thing. Over the holidays, I didn't even exercise. I was just sat in the house and I'm not doing anything, just playing that game. And occasionally knitting a wee bit as well. But I went back to the gym on Monday and my knee was really, really sore. I think it's just because I've been sitting and not exercising, not doing anything, just eating and playing a game, occasionally knitting. That'll teach me. I also picked up this wee book while I was there. This is actually, the big one's the brochure and this one was the programme, so you had to buy that one separately. You used to just go and buy one thing, didn't you? I don't go to the theatre a lot. This tells you more about the performance and And the only other thing I bought was a pair of socks. So I've just popped them out the bag, but they're odd socks. One is pink and one is green. And I think both witches are on the soles. We've got Glinda in one and we've got Elphaba on the other. Yeah. My husband wouldn't be able to wear these. He doesn't like odd socks. If you wanted matching, you would need to buy 2 pairs, wouldn't you? Oh, but it was really, really good. And that's about it for me, to be honest. I'm just looking round, seeing if there was anything else I wanted to show you. Oh, one more acquisition. Some new knitting needles. Like, I need more knitting needles, I know. But I saw there's a wee shop quite local to me called the Ori Mill. It's over in Eaglesham. And I saw that they were stocking some of the Lantern Moon needles. And I wanted to try these for a wee while. Now, I could drive over to this shop. I think it would only take me 15-20 minutes. But I had them delivered. I didn't go to the shop. I had them delivered because my husband just wasn't very well. And I thought I'll go pick them up the day that I was taking him to the osteopath. But I don't think he would have made the extra journey at Eaglesham. He was in quite a lot of pain last week. Much better now. His osteopath is a magician. And then I got a couple of cables to go with the little shorty. These ones are interchangeable circulars, and these are double pointed needles. These are actually 2.5s, so see all those socks that I'm going to knit, the West Yorkshire Spinners ones, I'll be able to use those because I use 2.5mm for my West Yorkshire Spinners yarn to get the right gauge, just to make them the right size. So I can report back to you next time, let you know how I got on with those. Well, that really is all I have to share with you today. And I probably should have said at the start, but Happy New Year to you all. I'm forgetting where I am and what time of the year it is. I hope you all enjoyed the festive season if you celebrate it. Or I hope you got a chance to hibernate like I did. It was actually quite good. I know it sounds awful to some people, but it was quite nice. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time to share another video with you. Share a wee bit of progress on my whips. I'll tell you, the number of times I thought I would go and try and get some knitting done, and then Mickey Mouse asked me to help him with something. And that was me off on another quest. And it's not very often you get to say that, is it? But it actually is true. I'll tell Mickey Mouse to give me a bit of a break, okay? And I will come back in 2 weeks and I will tell you who the winner is of this brew colourway. Okay? Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.